Yo, 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 welcome back to the Further Your Lifestyle podcast, conversations on lifestyle, passions, and hustles. My name's Chris Furlong, I am your host, and I'm super excited to be back here having the conversation with you. Episode 73 today, which just once again blows my mind as we continue to progress 73 weeks of doing episodes. Now, in the background, you might hear some crickets or some frogs, and that's just because it's a choir happening tonight here as I record this. Anyway, today what I want to chat to you about is a little statement or a little quote from Colin Powell, and it says this: "A dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work." Today, I want to really just remind you and have the conversation about that if we want things, we need to do some work to get them, but also looking at it from a different perspective. You know, we can get almost anything that we want as long as we are happy and comfortable with delaying gratification. Now, what I mean by this is, I guess one of the main reasons why we often fail to achieve our goals is because we're impatient. We lack the ability to stay focused. We lack the ability to remain committed or stay committed and have some discipline or be disciplined and have that willingness to compromise over things to help us further in this area to where we want to be. Now, at the same time, it is a fine balance to balance those compromises and staying focused and making sure that we don't block out other areas of our lives that are just as important. But also, it can't be just about wishing and no doing, or just wanting and doing no action. You have to do doing and you have to do action. That's the reality of it. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. And also diving into that there is a big problem about this. You see, we're so used to having quick wins. We're used to having dopamine rushes or instant gratification, especially when we're scrolling down on social media. And we also find it very hard to stay consistent and do something for several months before seeing any results. An example of this, which is a bit of a cliche, is when we want to lose weight, for instance, or when we're trying to build a muscle mass, or whatever it may be, or lose fat, for example. We get so discouraged that within 2 weeks, when we're at the gym or when we've been doing these exercises and we haven't seen any visible results, we're discouraged and we think this is pointless. We're not getting the results, and we give up and we stop doing it. When we want to build an audience, we want to have a social influence, we want to have, vanity metrics, thousands of people following us. Yet we lose motivation when it comes to creating 10 pieces of content back to back, or batching it up, or willing to commit to creating that content on a regular basis. We want to build wealth, we want to be rich, we want to have money, we want to invest, we want to take our hard-earned money and turn it into something which gives us a luxurious lifestyle. Yet once again, we get anxious when the financial markets go down in the short run and we bail. We don't think it's worth it. Now, once again, these are cliches and generalizations, but a lot of it is true. And the truth is, we can almost get anything that we want if we're just willing to work on it with patience, with consistency, with discipline, and that's what makes it so hard. And I guess that's what also sets out the outliers as well. What we need to do is we need to train ourselves to delay this gratification, to push it out, so that we can go out and do what we need to do without becoming so obsessed about the final results. So if you can find a way to enjoy the process and focus on the process and in the moment, then the gratification of this result won't necessarily be the thing that's going to keep you going. All of this is easier said than done. I get that. I totally understand it. Which is why I always recommend that when you are setting goals or when you are going on a journey to achieve something, have a clear why of why you want something, and also a clear understanding of that why. You see, there's two types of motivation, or two areas where it comes from. There's a push and a pull. Now, a push motivation is, for example, a behavior that an individual forces themselves to complete in order to satisfy a need or achieve a goal. Now, I'm reading that literally from a dictionary form, but essentially it's putting in the extra time to study to get the results. It's working extra hard in the gym to lose weight. Some other examples would be avoiding unemployment, job dissatisfaction, and family pressure. These are examples of push forces. This desire comes from external factors as individuals strive to avoid unwanted results. Whereas the pull motivation is a behavior that an individual feels drawn towards. For instance, you see something at a shop and you want to buy it. You cannot resist in buying it. your favorite band is in town and you're drawn to go see them live in concert. Or maybe you're a creative writer and you can't stop writing due to the passion you have for it. So pull motivation is essentially the desire to attain a certain result. So this could be to gain a financial success, to have more influence in a community, or to continue a family tradition. The desire is internal, as the individual has a strong pull reach for their goal. So the question is, which one is currently motivating you? Is it push or is it pull? Another way that we can help ourselves, I guess, make this process and this journey a little bit easier is this. Fall in love with the process of becoming someone who's so focused and disciplined that can continuously do the right things even if they're not fun in the short run. Now, what I mean by that is when we love the process, when we love what we do, it becomes second nature. If anyone listening to this drives a car, you know that when you first start driving a car, it's very difficult to do. You have to learn how to do the indicators, turn, brake, change gears, turn the lights on, monitoring the traffic coming towards you, watching out for signs. There's so much going on and it's overwhelming. But then there comes a time when you realize, hang on, you're just doing this stuff naturally. You're just on auto mode. Things are just working for you. You can change gears, you can go around the corner. You're quite comfortable to drink some water while you're turning, while you're braking, while you're changing gears, all these different things. And it becomes second nature. That's what you want to be able to create in doing this journey to build out or to achieve whatever goal that it is that you have. Another great trick that I like to play for myself is a mindset change. And a good example of this is when we change our diets, we usually dislike the idea of now we have to eat these healthy foods which we don't like the taste of, or they're not as exciting, or they're not as sweet. They seem boring or dry or dull compared to the other tasty foods that we've become comfortable with, which is why we're trying to lose weight in the first place, because we've become too comfortable with them. But what I'm saying is when we change our mindset around this food, we change our thinking around this food, and not so much focusing about its taste, but focusing on what it does for you. What is it going to enable for you? It might be it's going to give you the additional energy that I need. It might be it's going to enable me to burn through fat quicker. It's going to enable me to progress quicker in my journey of losing weight. At the end of the day, if we know what our end goal is to be, and we have all these things in front of us that can help us get there quicker, when we click at that and when we can change that mindset and leverage that, it enables us to remove this whole false mentality that, oh, I don't want to do this or I don't like this. But you change the mindset and you trick yourself and realize, no, this is really good, and it helps you thrive. It helps you build that momentum and helps you stay motivated. The next one, and I've kind of already alluded to this, is routines, habits, rituals, and automation. All these are king. These things are crucial and will help you make your journey so much easier when trying to chase and pursue these goals. I feel like we overcomplicate things when we're trying to achieve them. But when you automate things, when you have things in routine, when you have things in structure, it makes it so much easier to succeed. And I think that's a really key point to focus on is don't make it hard to succeed, make it easy. So if this was easy, how would you do it? I know it seems like a simple, stupid question, but that's all it needs to be is if this was easy, how would you do it? Build systems, build templates, put things in place that you can leverage to help your workflow be simple. Maybe it's a time of the day, maybe it's batching. Is it tools? Is it software? Can other people help you? Or maybe it is just scheduling, planning, and following a routine. I want to say this again. A dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. So something that I've learned over the years as I've become clearer and clearer in chasing my goals and understanding what my end game is, the big thing that I've learned is that the time will pass anyway. I've been working towards these dreams and goals for a long time, even more so and even more clearer in the last year and a half. But I've had some of these goals for the last 7 to 10 years, and the time has passed anyway. Now, if I had started some of the actions that I'm doing today 10 years ago, how much further ahead would I be? And I think that's what we need to leverage. We need to leverage that. If you know it's going to be a lot of sweat, determination, hard work, the sooner the journey starts, the sooner those obstacles can be overcome. And the sooner your progression will come. It still might take 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years, but wouldn't it be better to stick to the consistency of 3 years, for 3 years rather than wait 3 years to then realize that you need to now spend 3 years to do it. The key is, if you start the 3 years now, you're going to be at the end of that 3 years a lot quicker. You get what I'm saying? So it all seems, yeah, I've got plenty of time. And yes, you do. That is the catch-22 here. You've got so much time, and that's great. You can change things. You can spice things up. You can fail, try again, and, you've got time to do that. But the thing is, we live in this society, or we've been brought up in this mentality that we want things now. But we don't want to wait. So don't wait. Start, do, and do it through the time which will pass anyways. There's so much that I look back on and reflect on now in hindsight and understand, like, if I had taken what I knew now, 3 years ago, how much further would I be? And obviously I can't do that. But when you realize that it's going to take you 3 years to get something done anyway, once you start that journey, you're going to be 3 years ahead, because you don't want to get to the end of 3 years and think, I can start that now, or I should start that now, and then have to spend 3 years. Do something today that will get you one step closer to where you want to be a year from now. I'm serious. Trust me on this. Do something today that will get you one step closer to where you want to be a year from now. And let's have this chat again in a year's time. Send me an email, send me a message, I don't care. Reach out and tell me how much further you are. Where are you at? Because I guarantee if you start today and do one thing that gets you a little bit closer to where you want to be in a year's time, you're going to be further than you could ever imagine. Sometimes we get so stuck up on planning, trying to get things right, or wanting things to be perfect, when that actually isn't progression. Doing it is progression. Doing one thing today that gets you closer to where you want to be in a year's time is actually making sure you're doing it. So, a year from now, see where you're at. See how further you've come. See how far you've gone. And I think then you'll start to realize that if you had started some other journeys a lot quicker, if you'd started that progression model of trying to achieve something, if you know it's going to take a long time, 1 year, 6 months, 2 weeks, 2 years, 20 years, I don't know. Once you realize that time period, you're going to want to get moving on it as soon as possible, because I guarantee you the time will pass regardless, but it goes super quick. In the moment, it doesn't feel like it goes quick, but when you get to the end result, you think, wow, that went quick. So, you get my point. I don't want to have to keep saying it, but I want to say it again, is the sooner you can click to that, the sooner you can start on that journey that's going to take time anyway, the sooner you'll be further ahead. That's what I've got for you today. I hope this has been insightful. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it's challenged you, because at the end of the day, all I want to do is help you further your lifestyle. All I want to do is help you further your life, and doing that through these conversations and sharing my points of views and opinions, and also working with other people to hear their passions and their stories. So if you feel like this has resonated with you, give me some feedback. Leave me a comment on YouTube, or reach out and connect to me via socials, and let's have a conversation. Let's continue the conversation. Or if you feel like this episode was really good and someone else could benefit from it, please share it. Share it with them, send them a link, and tell them to listen to it. It would mean the absolute world to me. Alright, well that's it, team. Really do appreciate you being here. You have a wonderful day. Cheers. Now, if you didn't know, we do have the podcast merch, and this is with a key focus of enamel pins. Now, if you haven't checked these out, make sure you do, because the intent of these are really just to be a small token and a reminder for you to charge on, to push on, and to further your lifestyle. Whether it is a gift for someone else to encourage them, or maybe to inspire them, or maybe it's a way to motivate yourself, or you can simply just make a purchase to simply support the podcast, which would be greatly appreciated. We do also have some sweaters and some long tees, so make sure you check it out. Link in the description and in the show notes. Really do appreciate it. Cheers.